Gonna share. Okay. Okay, so we have season 3 here is responding to opposing arguments. So we already have the homework check. Okay, so firstly, how to respond clearly and well. So the first thing that you have to do is you must listen carefully. So what to do? Pay close attention to what the opposing team is saying. You have to take notes. You have to take notes. Yeah. Understand their argument fully, like what they were saying, and understand their argument fully is critical for formulating a relevant and strong response. So to simplify this, listen carefully to what the opponents say and then note down what they are saying and then oppose them. Secondly, summarize their point. What to do? Briefly restate the opposing team argument. So the opposing team argument uh, stress is like students have to do homework and you have to restate the opposing team arguments. For example, so the opposition team said that you have to do your homework in your own words. So the opposition team said that they said that we must do our homework. Yeah, so this will show that you have clearly understood their positions and their point of view and help clarify the arguments for both you and the audience. 3 is identifying weakness. So you have to analyze the opposing arguments to find any weakness or flaws. So look for issues in their evidence, reasoning, or logic. So identifying weaknesses helps you develop a focused counter argument that challenge their point effectively. So their argument is that we must not save the environment. So you clearly see you clearly see that their argument is flawed. No one who don't want to save the environment. So you could identify that weakness immediately. 4 is prepare your counter arguments. So here you must develop a clear response that addresses the weakness in the opposing arguments. You must use strong evidence and reasoning to support your counter arguments. A well-prepared counter argument help you present a compelling case and strengthen your position. So you must prepare your counter argument. You will have effective words so that your opponent can't rebut you. Wait. So this lesson is about responding to the other side case. Okay. Fifth is use evidence or example. So it is very clear. So if you want to support your rebuttals or your counter arguments against the opposing time with relevant evidence, such as facts, data, examples, evidence. The evidence adds credibility to your arguments and make it more convincing. 6 is highlight the impact. So this will discuss the broader implications of your counter arguments. It will explain how addressing the opposing arguments strengthens your overall position. This will show the impact of your counter arguments. It will help emphasize its importance and relevance. And 7 is practice and review. Regularly practice responding at your home to different types of argument and review your performance to improve. You could say that to your mom, your dad, to let them have feedback for you. And if you continuously practice, it will help you redefine your skills and become more effective in debate. Okay. So I will give you like a little seconds to review this. You guys, what are you doing? So show your faces. Have you guys all understand what I was saying? And do I have to do I have to read again or do I have to explain again or what? If you understand, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. So we have a practice motion here, example motion, and you don't have to do this. Is that school uniform should be mandatory. Okay. So the opposing argument here is that school uniform will limit student freedom and expression and creativity. So the opposing team said that, oh, students should not wear uniforms and they should wear whatever they want in school. So here's what it was for. So firstly, you summarize, who is it? Uh, okay, so Sony. Okay, so Sony, could you like summarize your homework later on? Okay, so how to respond? So you summarize is that your team argued that school uniform restricts students' freedom to express themselves and be creative. Okay, so the summarize here is you could say that the opposing team or your team argued that school uniforms restrict students' freedom and express them and be creative. But there is a weakness in their point. So why it's true is that uniform limits clothing choices. They can actually enhance creativity in other areas such as art or extracurricular activities. The counter argument is uniform can reduce distraction related to fashion, allowing students to focus more on their study and personal interests. Plus, schools can still encourage self-expression through art projects and club activities. So what is mean in the counter arguments here is that when your friend showed up with a Gucci or shoes that worth $10,000 and you showed up at your school with just $1, $2, maybe $50 worth of clothes, and then your friend might pick on you and say, "Oh, you are so poor." So uniforms can uniform can reduce distractions and it will also look cool. So the evidence. Okay, studies have shown that schools with uniforms report fewer behavioral issues, suggesting that uniform helps students focus better on academics. So it will not. Okay, Euro, what are you doing with your camera? Okay, so evidence. So studies have shown that schools with uniforms, like report fewer bullying, like yeah. So the evidence you could have another claim is you don't need to have study. I've shown that you could have others like you can put the name of the knowledge of the link that you use the information from. And lastly, in the impact. So by reducing distraction, uniform can create a more conductive learning environment, benefiting overall students' performance. Okay, have you all understand this? Because Jerry asked is that does that mean free uniform wearing in schools can bring bad fear? What do you mean by that?
You just said that you said an example that a student wears an expensive shoe, and our students think that the other student that our student is poor because he has a cheap shoe. Yeah, think that.
Wait, so what did you mean by free uniform?
It means that you just said that example a
Yeah,
student that
no, that's not free uniform. That casual clothes. So yeah, so the opposition said that school uniform will limit student freedom of expression and creativity. So the counter arguments, you said that the counter argument you said that it will reduce bullying. So here, let me explain. opposition point of view is that the opposite point of view is the student could wear casual clothes to school, and it will express student creativity. But the weakness in that um because students can get bullied for their prices for clothes, etc. Like that. It's my point. Okay. But how about mandatory school shoes that you wait, what? No, we are saying school uniforms, not shoes. Okay, so do you have any question? Just ask. Okay, so let's move on to the task one. What is it? No, some school uniform are shoes too. They don't get bullied with shoes. So have you ever been bullied by shoes? Okay. Moving on to task one, that homework should be banned for students. Yeah. So the opposition case or opposing arguments is that homework is essential for reinforcing classroom learning and helping students practice what they have been taught. So the format for this task one is firstly, you summarize the main point of your opponent. Secondly, you identify weakness. Three, you counter arguments. Four, you evidence. And five, you impact. So the argument of the other side is that, oh, homework is very important for reinforcing classroom learning and helping students to review their classroom learning so that they could have good grades. Okay, so I will give you like task one in 10 to 20 seconds at 10 to 20 minutes so you could practice, and task two is your homework. Okay. So if you guys have any questions or ridiculous questions, just ask me. Okay, I will list out your names for the Zoom class today. Guys, do you need the screen for you to practice, for you to read, or what? Okay, wait. Ben and Sony, please turn on your camera, or else you'll be kicked out of class. Okay, I'll post the screen in the Zoom. Okay, so here is task one, is your task for right now. Okay, so you can do it. Task two is your homework. Okay, so please work on task one. Now, once one of you guys finish, please read your answer to me, okay? Ben, turn on your camera.